What's up, guys? Ranger here, and I'm back with the 20th episode of MLP FiM Season 5. And the episode is Hearthbreakers. I first read it as Heartbreakers, and I'm like, what? So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get on with the episode and see exactly what is going on in this episode. I've already had, I know people are already wanting me to do this episode, so why won't my chair roll forward? I don't know. My chair. Huh. Strange. Okay. Got my water. So starting the episode in 3, 2, 1, click. Oh! It's the Christmas season. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. I love it already.
Happy Hearthswarming Eve!
Shucks, Twilight.
Oh boy.
Y'all done it up nice and cozy in here.
We're about to hang our Hearthswarming dolls.
I'm so
if you want to join us.
glad that they're
Well,
doing
that's
another
mighty
holiday
sweet,
episode.
But we're just stopping in to wish y'all a happy Hearthswarming before we go.
I think it's sweet that your families are spending the holiday together. Picture the most fun-tacular thing you can think of. Now multiply that times infinity. It's gonna be great!
That's us. See you later. Now can we open presents? But tonight is Hearthswarming Eve. Every pony knows you don't open presents till tomorrow.
When Spike and I spent our first Hearthswarming Eve together, he couldn't wait all night to open his presents. Ever since then, we've always opened them the night before.
It's kind of like our tradition. That's not how our family does it. And I reckon it can't be how Pinkie's does it. Is it?
No, sirree! To each their own, I suppose. Ah! Gotta go! Bye!
Just what I always wanted. A book.
Oh, Twilight. So is the focus going to be on this in this episode? Multiple?
Puddings. How about a Wendigo frosted snow cone?
It's so
the same
exciting. Related or not, it's going to be a hoot having our families together under one roof.
Oh my gosh.
Surprise! Together again for the first time! Maybe
Oh my
we're
gosh.
related,
This is going to be...
maybe we're
Oh my
not.
gosh. We're going to get to see Maud.
Friends or family, this here's about together.
Are we going to get to see
Have you
Pinkie's
tried them
family?
Just like grapes? The blue is blueberry. Don't tell Granny I saw, but her trunk is full of presents. Now hang on, Sugar Cube. You know Hearthswarming isn't just about candy and presents, right?
Uh-oh. That's your boring sisterly lecture voice.
Afraid so. A long time ago, the Earth ponies, Pegasus ponies,
Oh my...
and
What
Unicorn ponies
animation is
weren't
this?
friends.
Stop
I
motion?
don't like you!
I don't like you either.
I love this.
But then, the icy chill of the Wendigos almost iced up everything. So the ponies decided to work together. And their friendship drove them nasty critters away.
Beat it, Wendigos!
Triumphant, they raised a new flag to celebrate all three tribes. And Equestria was born. What happened to the flag?
I love this episode.
Is that why we celebrate with a flag raising tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. And tonight, we'll have the traditional Hearthswarming Eve dinner to remember the shared bounties of our ancestors.
We do that too.
Then, we'll hang our
Oh, no.
Hearthswarming dolls
Oh,
over
no.
the fireplace.
Please don't tell me they're going to get
remind us
into
of
it.
the warmth shared on that
They're going to get
fateful
into it,
night.
aren't they?
That's what our family does too.
And tomorrow, we open presents.
We do that too. It sounds like the apples and the pies do everything the same way. Of course, we might be related. Hey, I was gonna say that. Stop saying what I'm saying. You stop it first.
Oh, that was adorable. I can only imagine what the edits are going to be like on Derp Guru.
I'm so happy, I need to make up a new word for how happy I am. What about rooftastic?
Roof-tastic?
As in, I gotta get on the roof and yell to every pony, how rooftastic!
How did you get up there? What?
What if our families don't like each other?
We are
That's
friends,
interesting.
Applejack. And after tonight, our families are going to be friends too. Do you know what that means?
Oh, great.
Number of apples times number of pies is 24 minus my pre-existing friendships plus 1 for Mon, and you makes 5 from 24 is 19 new friendships.
Mud!
I'm so excited to see you, Pinkie Pie. You too, Applejack. I hope you had fun sledding yesterday.
How'd you know that?
Isn't it obvious? There's specks of extrusive andesite on your hoof. It's a mountain rock.
I love Mud.
How's school going?
If you thought quartz was high on the Mohs hardness scale, wait till I tell you about corundum.
I miss you so much.
Oh my gosh, are we gonna see the rest of... Are we gonna get... Finally see the... Ooh! Pretty. That's really
This
beautiful.
looks amazing.
Come on, every pony.
Oh my gosh.
My super
We're finally gonna...
wonderful-
Oh my gosh! Finally! Pinkie's family! Hello, who are you? Oh my gosh, we finally gonna see Pinkie's family! Yes!
Every pony. Meet every pony.
Surely thy name is not but Granny Smith. I am called Igneous Rock Pie, son of Feldspar Granite Pie.
Thou shalt know me as Cloudy Quartz.
May Providence favor thee well, and to thou comfort our humble homestead bring.
Y'all gabbing with words real funny like. What you say them names were? Iggy? And I'm just gonna call you Big Mama Q.
Gaze into the eyes of a limestone pie. Ma and Pa may own this rock farm, but I keep it running. Cross me and...
Aye, aye, Captain Grumpy. No one's gonna mess
Okay.
with your precious mind.
Ore Holder's boulder.
I like her. But where have I heard that voice?
From Holder's folder. There, you happy now?
Okay, I like her.
And you must be...
This is Marble Pie, my baby sister who's only a few minutes younger than me, but she'll always be a baby to me, isn't that right?
And I like her
She's so
too.
excited to meet every pony. Oh, and she wishes you all happy hearthswarming.
Guess
We
Pinkie Pie
finally-
always did the talking for her.
Attention!
Oh boy.
What'd I say about the boulder?
I've heard that voice. Where have I heard that voice?
Every pony gets settled in. There's plenty of room upstairs. And then it's time for Hearthswarming Eve dinner!
So far, so good,
Mm.
cousin.
Oh boy. The family is going to get into it, and it's going to be up to Applejack and Pinkie to rekindle everything. Yep.
I'm more of a 6-layer bean dip filler myself. I love that too. Oh, Applejack, do you think this will be even better than ours?
Oh, that's a mighty tall order, but it wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Are you excited for dinner time? Because guess who is? Spoiler alert.
I love this episode so much. Oh.
What about hot rolls? And mulled cider? And double-baked pot pie?
What about 6-layer bean dip?
Oh boy.
We have rock soup.
Potato.
Oh, boy.
Double baked pot pie, rock soup. Dinner is dinner. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah, you know what? This is what we were expecting. Right, every pony?
Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't know where this is going.
Is everything all right, Applejack?
Of course. I'm just being a rusty fiddle. Tune me up and let's get back to dinner.
Again, we finally get to meet Pinkie's sisters.
More rock, please.
Oh no.
Eat up so we can get to our hearthswarming dolls.
Now that's something I know all about.
Oh boy. Wow.
Who wants a hearthswarming doll?
Are you saying that rock is a hearthswarming doll?
Don't be silly. Our dolls are these little pieces. Isn't that right, Marble Pie?
Marvel. She's adorable. I like her. I really like her.
Are dolls or rocks? Y'all don't have traditional crochet dolls passed down in your family?
I get why. I get what's going on here. I really get what's going on here. And it's really relatable.
What finding what now?
And I will discuss it after the episode.
Limestone Pie, you're the judge. Big Mac, Marble Pie, you're team 1. Apple Bloom and Mom,
Well, I ship it.
you're gonna be with Granny Smith. Don't think of it as Team Old. Think of it as Team And I'm with Applejack, of course, since we might be cousins.
So now that we're all split up, mind telling us what we're doing?
As every pony knows.
Only.
Holders Boulder. Sheesh. The 3 tribes united to form Equestria. The first flag was sewn by Nimble Thimble. It's tradition to raise the flag on Hearthswarming to celebrate that famous day.
Yep.
Away she goes. But who gets to put the flag on Holders Boulder?
You mean on the flagpole?
No, silly. It goes on the highest point. And who's the lucky pony?
Traditionally, it's the youngest.
On your mark, get set, go!
Oh, I see.
Pinkie Pie, will you please tell us what's going on?
I'll explain on the way. Whoa!
They have to
I
find
still
the
don't
flag?
understand.
Earlier today, Limestone Pie hit an obsidian stone.
Oh.
Whoever finds it gets to raise the
Obsidian. Great.
It's all just so
Gonna need a diamond pickaxe for
complicated
that.
and rock-based.
Well, how else would we do it?
I don't know. I sure hope every pony else is having a better time.
I love this episode, and I really get. Oh boy,
Yep.
it's gonna be.
Yep.
So, how'd you meet this diggy feller?
We were
Again,
chosen by the
I ship it.
Stone and betrothed within a fortnight.
The choosing stone decreed, "Thou shalt love one another." And lo, it was so.
I love the organ music that's playing in the background.
To look into this old-fangled choosing stone thing. Do you reckon it knows any apple farming hunks?
Indeed so.
Ah! Alright, got
What
something
does the
on the
rock
screen.
look like?
It looks like something that formed when volcanic lava cooled quickly.
I love Mod.
Have you ever wished you could turn into a rock?
I had a dream once I was an apple.
We have a lot in common when it comes to thinking about turning into things.
Ow! Oh, I can only imagine how much that hurt.
Picture? I've been looking for a real stone, Pinkie Pie.
That would be weird. I get to raise the flag, and now it's time to hide the presents!
Y'all hide your presents?
Of course! What's more fun than getting a present? Finding a present! Although, most years, no pony finds one.
What?
No pony gets presents?
Not usually.
So let me get all this straight. You're only allowed to eat rock soup for dinner. Then, the pony who finds this rock gets to raise the flag. But not really, because you don't got no flagpole. And to top it off, you don't even get presents?
Well, doesn't sound very fun when you say it that way.
Well, how about you picture this? Both our families, opening presents, raising the flag.
Picturing it, loving it.
Oh boy. Oh, that is
Good
beautiful.
night, Pinkie Pie.
That looks so calm and serene.
We gotta do something, y'all. Pinkie Pie's family never had a real Hearthswarming.
Is that really what she said?
Well, I'm sure it's what she meant.
Oh no.
These are their traditions.
That's awful small.
I know they have their traditions, and we have ours, but I just want them to see how much better theirs could be.
I understand. I really understand why Applejack wants to. Okay, you know what? I relate to Pink. I can relate to Pinkie's enthusiasm because.
Oh my.
What happened to my farm? It's Hearthswarming apple style.
I love the scene here.
We've been doing everything your way.
I get.
I thought we could mix it up a bit.
I really get what's going
Marble
on here.
Pie, you could raise the Equestria flag up this pole because you're the youngest pie. Ma and Pa Pie will cook you up a meal you'll never forget.
I really get this.
We all get presents without having to find them.
Yeah! This is gonna be great! All the stuff she said! Right, every pony?
Pinkamina Diane Pie. Truly thou do not favor this madness.
Well, I want to be one big family.
But what about what we usually do?
Well, I don't know. Don't make me choose.
I didn't mean to cause a fuss. Why don't we just open presents around the flagpole? It'll be fun. You'll see.
Excuse me. You planted your pole on a fault line.
What? Oh crap! Oh no! Are you? Oh. Ah.
Oh boy.
Oh crap! This is. Oh gosh.
You have to ask them to leave.
They wanted to go. We don't need any pony forcing their way into our family.
This was all a misunderstanding, every pony. I know Applejack, and she never do anything bad to any pony.
Look around, Pinkie Pie. It's gonna take me ages to get this rock farm back on track. And how are we gonna lift Holder's boulder? This is all her fault.
Then it's my fault, too.
Probably best if we head back to Sweet Apple Acres. Maybe in time we'll be friends again. But for the now, it's best if we give them a little space.
I wish we didn't have to. I really like Maud. She's sweet once you get to know her. They all are. Worst hearthswarming ever.
Has any pony seen Applejack?
I really cracked the corn this time.
I really popped the piñata this time.
Pinkie Pie?
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
I came here to think. You did? So did I. Oh.
I'm too ashamed to go back up there. Her family, my family, they all must think I'm such a nincompoop.
Aw, no one thinks that. Pushy, aggressive, mean. Oh, I'm not helping. Sorry.
I'm sorry I forced my traditions over yours. I don't want you to have to choose between the family you were born into and the friends who love you like one. I really hoped we could be one big happy family. I guess not.
Don't say that.
I wish I could stay, but I have a train to catch.
Happy hearthswarming.
You too.
Well, dang it. Every episode this season feels, man. Every episode. I love it.
Boulder's so dang it important. Well, now their great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, Holder Cobblestone, he found that boulder in a dragon's nest, older than time itself. He built the family farm around it, even though it was just an ordinary rock. It's always brought them good luck.
Oh, crickets. That is important. I got so caught up in the things they were doing, I never asked why they did them.
Ah!
To Applejack from Pinkie Pie. Cousins forever.
You just found your first pal hearthswarming present ever.
Only Pinkie Pie could hide a present on a moving train. What a great tradition. Stop the train!
Come on! You Boulder, come on!
I'm pushing as hard as I can, too.
Hello, Ma.
It's hopeless!
Need a little help?
Apples!
What do you want? I wasn't trying to take your traditions away. I was trying to share ours. I was so focused on us being one big happy family, I thought we needed the same traditions right away. What I should have done is learn about yours and teach you about ours. And over time, we'd make new traditions together. I'm sorry, y'all. Well, don't just stand there. We got a boulder to move.
And the music! I love the music atmosphere here.
We just invented our first combined tradition, pushing Holder's boulder out of the quarry. I can't wait for Applejack to knock it over next Hearthswarming.
How about we skip on that tradition? Huh. Well, what do you know?
Marble pie.
Where's the mistletoe now? Kiss under it, would you?
Heartwarming, don't you? And you too, right, Big Mac? Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Let me see here. If thou
Ah, ship it!
me, thou too art cast in my book.
Yeehaw.
Happy Hearthswarming.
Happy Hearthswarming, Pinkie Pie.
Oh.
Attention every pony. Maud wants to sing some Hearthswarming carols that she wrote.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Adorable
The
mod.
first one is about rocks. They're all about rocks.
I was expecting that.
Hearthswarming is great, like calcium silicate. What a wonderful day. As good as mica or clay.
Aww. Oh man, that was such a beautiful, warm episode. That was a beautiful episode. I love it. I love the holiday-based episodes. Oh, that was so beautiful. Oh man. Oh wow, that was beautiful. Okay. Now, as I was going to say, I really love the story for the episode. I mean, it was really okay. So much went on in this episode. First of all, I really love the story, and the story. Okay, first of all, I will discuss the story last because there's a lot. Pardon me, because there's a lot to actually talk about. First, we finally get to see Pinkie's family again. 5 years. It took 5 years before we finally got to see Pinkie's parents again, and before we got to actually finally be introduced to Pinkie's sisters. And I love them both. They're really awesome. I love them both. And I cannot wait to see the fan art with Big Mac and Marble Pie. Cannot wait to see that. Again, I think they're cute. I really do think that they're cute. But to be able to see Pinkie's family again, it's really awesome to be able to see her with her family again, and to be able to see the Apple family and the Pie family. They're actually, together. And like I said, we got to see Pinkie's family again, and it was just awesome to be able to see them again. And Maud and the rest of them too. It was really awesome. And the visual style for this episode is, again, another one of those episodes, just like Made in Manhattan. There are a lot of beautiful visual elements in this to actually take note of. So many beautiful, serene settings with like the lights and the lighting and shading effects and everything. There are a lot of bright, a lot of soft, beautiful colors here, and in a lot of the background elements and everything. There are just so many beautiful scenes in this episode, just like Made in Manhattan. The scenery really helps to add to the ambience, the effect, the overall warm feeling of the episode. It adds a more realistic nature and tone, and really helps to it's unique for a cartoon to do that, and I love it whenever they do. And this right here has done it as well. MLP has done it, and then we finally got another holiday episode, which I'm very happy for, because oftentimes, and I'm saying this about a lot of different TV shows that you will see. Most of the time, whenever a show gets its start, they will do one holiday episode, usually within the first season. They usually do a holiday episode usually within the first season, or maybe the second season, depending on whenever the first season comes out. But usually they do one holiday-based episode, and that holiday episode becomes the sole holiday episode that they do throughout the rest of the entire show's run. They never do another holiday episode. They will rerun that holiday episode. Later, they will rerun that holiday episode for the rest of every single holiday. And to a degree, for some it just works, but for some, there have been developments that have happened later on, like improvements in animation style or major developments in character story, that whenever seeing the later seasons and seeing what has happened, it doesn't really feel as good. It feels more awkward to go back to the holiday based episode. And so it sometimes, depending on the show, it can be awkward at times. And some holiday-based episodes, some holiday-based episodes, like I said, some of them are really good, but again, some of them, they don't really have the potential that they could have had as a Christmas episode. This episode, however, is exactly the opposite. Again, they did one Hearthswarming episode before, and I honestly thought, that's going to be the only one that they'll ever do throughout the rest of the whole show's run. I was really surprised that they did another holiday episode, and I'm really glad that they did, because again, this episode right here is proof of how much potential and how much more can be built onto it. I don't think that any show should limit itself to just one holiday-based episode, because there is so much potential for so many more things that can be done in many more holiday episodes. Not just Christmas, but there's Halloween, like Valentine's Day, like with Disney and such, and 4th of July, St. Patrick's Day, New Year's and such. There are so many different Thanksgiving. There are so many different possibilities, and this episode, I absolutely adore this episode. I absolutely love this episode. The story, the character development. Right here, we got to see returning characters. We got some really awesome, beautiful development with them, and then, like I said, the overall visualization of the episodes, the scenery and everything, the music, the holiday music that you hear was just, it was so wonderful to hear that. It added to the overall holiday feel of the episode. And after, I know it's just October 25th right now, but this episode really puts you in the Christmas mood. And but like I said, I'm really glad that they did do another holiday episode, and it was a wonderful episode. And like I said, for the characters that they used, it was a wonderful message and a very relatable and true, a very true message. And I do hope that maybe in the future we might get to see more holiday-based episodes, because again, there are many other characters that we can focus on. There's Twilight and her family. I think it would be awesome to see another holiday episode that focuses on Twilight, going to like Twilight going back to Canterlot to be with her mom and dad, and then you have Shining and Cadence coming in. And like Cadence, she could be pregnant still, or she could have just had the baby, and it could be sort of like Baby's First Christmas. It'll be a really good episode with like Shining and Cadence's their baby's very first Christmas, and they're spending it, with Twilight, her mom and dad, and everything, as a really good family episode. And there's that potential there, and then there's also like the potential, like we could see a Rarity and Sweetie Belle holiday episode as well. And I also think it'd be really cool to be able to see a Rainbow Dash a Christmas episode or Hearthswarming episode focusing on pardon me, on Rainbow Dash, and then perhaps get to find out about Scootaloo's family. And I know that they would not go with that route, but I think it'd be interesting if, like, I mean, if they could go that route, that like at the end of the episode, Rainbow possibly she calls Scootaloo her little sister, and but again, I really love this episode, and the story is also something that is really relatable, and because I mean it's very much true. Everybody has a different way of everybody has a different style, a different set of traditions, a different way of celebrating Christmas, and every single person celebrates it differently. And to have like different people, I mean, this was extremely true because like everybody has different traditions, and whenever you put two people together whenever you put two different families together who have never celebrated Christmas together before, and then they each have different traditions and different way of doing things. For each of them, it would probably be awkward, and both are used to their. I mean, this was a very solid to me. This was a very solid episode, and like with Applejack, the traditions that that the Apple family has is the traditions that that they've had for years. It's the traditions that Applejack grew up with, Big Mac. It's the same traditions that Apple Bloom is growing up with, and the same can be said for Pinkie and Maud. The traditions that their family have are the ones that they grew up with, and so seeing other people's way of the way that they do, the way that they celebrate the traditions that they have, for them, pardon me, for them, it's there really is no right or wrong. In this case, there really is no right or wrong way to actually celebrate, because it's traditions that they started, it's traditions that has been in their family for years, and of course everybody can create new traditions, and in this case that's exactly what they did. They finally came together, and I was completely expecting there to be like a conflict between them, and it was a little predictable, but it was really interesting to be able to see how it would actually play out. And then I was really glad. Again, you could say that it was cliche or predictable that it was resolved in the end, but me myself, I love happy endings, and so I'm really happy that they did have a happy ending and that everything worked out and that they were able to begin to indulge in each other's traditions and be able to open up to each other's traditions, and not just still be able to celebrate their own, but also embrace someone else's, be able to actually open up and partake in someone else's traditions as well. And so combining their two different styles, their two different traditions, was actually creating a whole new tradition. And so I know a lot of people can really relate to this, and I myself can, because for me, a simple tradition is simply just having Christmas dinner with my parents at home, and that's what I'm used to. And like like whenever I was really little, waking up before my parents on Christmas morning, and then waking them up and then opening Christmas presents, and then my aunt would call before I would usually. She would call before I had time to open, but maybe a couple of presents, and we would go up to my grandma's and open the presents up there, and that was the way that things were always done. And my grandma isn't here anymore, and so we don't really, that's a tradition that we can't really do anymore. But still, there are traditions that you hold dear, even traditions that you can no longer do anymore. They are traditions that you hold dear and you won't ever forget. And so, with each new passing year, things might change, and you might do a tradition differently, but it's still a tradition. And like I said, I love this episode because of how open that it was and how beautiful and serene that the story was. And I mean, the story was both a combination sort of slow pace and fast pace. It was slow paced with like Applejack, and it was fast paced with Pinkie. But I really loved it, and the character interactions were great, and I just absolutely loved this episode. It was such a warm, it was such a warm and heartwarming episode, and then it was a holiday episode, and then like I said, we got to see a lot. We finally got to see Pinkie's parents and her sisters again, and we got to see the characters. We got to see some wonderful character interactions, and like I said, the message itself, the moral, the message is really, it's completely true and completely relatable. And again, another episode that brought on some feels, a little bit of feels. So this, again, I absolutely love this episode. And so to everybody that worked on this episode, the writers and everything, animators, thank you so much for bringing us such a wonderful episode again. And I really can't wait to see everybody else's reaction to this and get to hear what they say as well. So thank you guys again for joining me, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys again next time with the next video that I do. Take care.